We have a couple of updates in the Austin Metcalf case. For one, Austin Metcalf was laid to rest on Saturday. I'm aware that there are videos floating around online from the service, but the family wanted it to be a private service, so I'm not going to play those clips here. Just know that the entire community, they showed up and they showed so much love. There was an outpouring of love and support for Austin and his family, his classmates, his friends, his teammates. They were all there. It was a beautiful service. It was nice seeing this community come together for Austin. This community loved Austin because they knew that Austin was not the person that certain people are trying to make him out to be. Now, as far as Karmelo Anthony goes, Karmelo is actually due in court on Monday morning. Maybe by the time you're watching this video, he may have already been in court. I know that his new lawyer is seeking a bond reduction. They want the judge to reduce the bond because right now it is set at $1 million. And for those of you all who might not know, Karmelo Anthony's family, they just hired a new lawyer. They got rid of their old lawyers and they hired a new one. And there's a debate online, surrounding why the Karmelo Anthony family made this decision. Because for one, there's this little organization that is trying to represent Karmelo Anthony's family. They're like these con artists / activists, all like ex-criminals. They used to beat on their wives, beat on their girlfriends, kids, and stuff like that. And now they're trying to be like a spokesman or some type of, advocacy group that's representing Karmelo Anthony's family. Well, a lot of stuff got exposed about that. And then all of a sudden, next thing you know, Karmelo Anthony's family split ways with their old lawyer. So I don't know if it's because of the corruption and everything that was being exposed, or law enforcement now has videos, multiple videos of the incident. I don't know if Karmelo Anthony's family's original lawyers saw the videos and they realized, hey, we're not going to be able to win this case, so they separated themselves from the case. Maybe Karmelo Anthony's family got to see the videos and they realized they're going to need a better lawyer. I don't know. But something happened. There's some type of inside drama going on. But what I do know is this. Their new lawyer is a damn good lawyer. Okay? They have a much better shot at getting Karmelo Anthony off now than they did before. Their original lawyer, that Kim T. Cole lady, she's a complete joke if you ask me. But anyways, the local media was actually talking about this earlier today, and I want to roll a clip of that in just a moment. But first, people often ask, how can they support the channel? The answer to that question is very simple. You can support the channel by liking the video, sharing the video, dropping a comment, and becoming part of the conversation. That's an easy and free way to support the channel. But if you want to take your support one step further, you could always send a super thanks or a cash app. Always greatly appreciated. Now, with that being said, let's roll this news clip, and then I'll be right back with more thoughts.
Funeral services were held today for the teen student athlete who was stabbed to death at a school track meet earlier this month. 17-year-old Austin Metcalf was killed back on April 2nd. A teen student from another school has been charged with his murder. The crime has been thrust into the national spotlight, bringing some controversies along with it. On Monday, the alleged killer will make his first appearance before a judge. Fox 4's Amelia Jones is following all of the developments for us tonight. She joins us live courthouse where that hearing will happen. Amelia.
Hi there, Casey. At Monday's hearing, we expect Karmelo Anthony's lawyers to ask for a bond reduction so he can get out of jail. But today in Frisco, the focus was on comforting the friends and family of 17-year-old Austin Metcalf. People filed into Hope Fellowship Church in Frisco to say one final goodbye to 17-year-old Austin Metcalf. Some people wore football jerseys to the service as Metcalf was a member of the Frisco Memorial High School varsity football team. He was also a member of the track and field team. During a track meet earlier this month, Metcalf was killed after he was stabbed in the chest during a fight and died in his twin brother's arms. The fight was with 17-year-old Karmelo Anthony, a student athlete from a different Frisco high school. Arrest documents say the fight was over a seating dispute in the bleachers. Anthony was charged with first-degree murder, and his bond was set at $1 million.
Well, obviously, it's a very tragic case when you have a 17-year-old killed and a 17-year-old boy charged with the murder happening during a school event.
Toby Shook is a criminal defense attorney not involved in this case. A bond hearing is set for Monday where the defense team plans to ask the judge to lower it. Shook explained some of the factors the judge will have to consider.
Obviously, in this case, there is not criminal history, so that's going to weigh in his favor to lowering a bond. The judge will also consider if the defendant's a flight risk. So the defense attorney is going to put on family members that can show he had lived for some years in Frisco, that his family's there, that he's not a flight risk. He has what they call ties to the community.
The prosecution will also have a chance to speak, and they're going up against a new defense attorney for Anthony. Shook told Fox 4 that the family hired Dallas-based criminal defense attorney Mike Howard to represent Anthony.
He's a very experienced criminal lawyer, done lots of trials. He's very good. So that was a good decision, I believe, on the family's part to get an experienced criminal lawyer who's actually tried criminal cases to defend the son.
This case has already captured national attention. Shook believes this will make the case difficult as it moves forward, especially when it comes time for jury selection if the case goes to trial, which Shook believes it will.
It has a danger of poisoning the jury pool so that you'll have more jurors who are exposed and go in with opinions, so they have to be very, very careful during jury selection.
Shook is also a former prosecutor, and he's confident that the DA's office will put the top prosecutor on the case, so he says both sides will be well represented. We reached out to Mike Howard's law firm for a statement on this case, and we're still waiting to hear back.
Now, there's a lot of people online trying to say this was self-defense. There's even some high-profile commentators and political analysts that are also saying this is self-defense. But I think in those cases, they're really trying to rage bait. They're trying to engagement farm for the most part, trying to be a contrarian in order to get attention. Now, when I look at this situation, I don't think it's self-defense. Morally, I don't think this is self-defense at all. And even when I look at this from a legal standpoint, I don't think this is self-defense. But I'm not a lawyer. Okay, let's make that clear. I am not a lawyer. And I know a lot more about local laws than I do Texas law. So I'm no expert here. And at the end of the day, the judge and the jury, they're going to be the ones to decide this. But when I look at this situation and I think of self-defense, usually if someone did something like what Karmelo did, usually you would have to prove that your life was in immediate danger, right? I think we can all agree that Karmelo's life was not in immediate danger at all. Was he in threat of some type of bodily harm? Possibly. But I don't know if that warrants stabbing someone in the chest legally. So I think we can all agree his life was not threatened. Like he did not think in his mind, oh God, I'm not going to make it away from these bleachers. Also, you got to think about the fact that he was told to leave first. Now, you could say, oh, well, he doesn't have to listen to Austin, and I agree. But you have to look at the situation and realize, okay, Karmelo's back was not against the wall. It's not like he was being held somewhere against his will, and he had to fight his way out of there. No. At any point in time, Karmelo simply could have walked away. And in a lot of cases, if you got a chance to just walk away, that's not considered self-defense, people. So I know people are looking at it like, oh, Austin shouldn't have told him to move, or they shouldn't be able to tell him, Karmelo, where to sit. And I'm not here to argue with you about that. But the fact that there was an initial interaction with someone telling Karmelo, hey, you need to go over here, or you need to go over there, you need to get away from over here, that lets you know there was an opportunity. His life was not at immediate risk. His health was not even at immediate risk. No one was about to attack him at that point or touch him at that point. He had the opportunity to walk away. Okay? So that right there lets you know this is not really self-defense, but we can take it one step further. Let's say I'm in my home and you walk into my house and you tell me to leave and you get physical with me and I defend myself. That's self-defense. Here I am in my home base. Now, let's say I walk into your house and we get into some type of altercation and you tell me to leave, right? And I have the opportunity to leave your house, but instead of leaving, I continue to argue with you and I stab you in the chest. That's a big difference. You're standing your ground in your house. This is my property. You can't tell me to leave my property. You get it. So when Karmelo Anthony is going into someone else's tent, I understand it's not the same as going in someone's house. I'm just using that as an example. He's not in self-defense mode. Now, if Austin came to Karmelo's tent starting problems, then I think you could argue more that he's standing his ground. He's where he's supposed to be. He's under his team's tent. And this guy's coming, arguing with him, antagonizing him. But instead, it's the other way around. So at the end of the day, it's not like Karmelo Anthony was really in a defensive position. He was more so in an offensive position. Because you're not where you're supposed to be. You're not over here with your team. No, you actively went out of your way to go somewhere where you're not supposed to be. You're around people who are telling you they don't want to be around you. So that in itself kind of shows he's not on the defensive, he's on the offensive by going into someone else's space, if you will. And I already know I'm going to get the comments, well, who can tell Karmelo where to sit? It's not Rosa Parks. You can't do it, damn. Who's the authority here? They should have told a teacher. I don't want to hear all of that because none of that matters. None of that matters. I'm not here telling you it's right that they can tell him to sit here or sit there. I'm just telling you how you would look at this situation from a legal perspective. Okay? From a legal perspective, they don't give a damn about, oh, well, they told a teacher and then, well, this isn't Rosa Parks and no one cares about that. So at the end of the day, the fact that Karmelo is not in his location, he's in another team's location, that lets you know that he's not, in more of a defensive position. And there was multiple opportunities there for Karmelo to simply walk away and nothing would have happened. Everything would have been fine. But I see a lot of people bringing up the fact that Karmelo Anthony warned Austin Metcalf before he stabbed him. And for some odd reason, people think that that is going to work in Karmelo Anthony's favor, but it's not. People think that because Karmelo Anthony warned Austin not to touch him, and then Austin touched him, and then Karmelo stabbed him, they think, oh, Karmelo gave him a warning. He should have listened to the warning, see? This definitely proves it's self-defense. But actually, that's not the case. And what Karmelo actually said is going to work against him, most likely. Because you see, in a way, it's almost as if he antagonized Austin. Touch me and see what happens. Right? In a way, and I'm not saying I view this way or you have to view this way, but in the eyes of the law, that's provoking someone. Touch me and see what happens, knowing that what you plan on doing is responding by stabbing someone or hurting them with some type of weapon. So that right there can blow the self-defense right out of the window. You have to look into the provocation laws in Texas. I'm telling you guys right now, this can be viewed as, oh, you kind of provoked someone to touch you in order to respond in the way that you did. So this can most likely work against him. Now, I think I might have to do a whole entire video breaking that down because it would take too long and I'm trying to move through this video. But for those of you all who may be curious, look up those provocation laws in Texas. I think it definitely applies here. But the last point I want to make is that it's illegal to bring weapons to a track meet, to a school event in the first place. So I don't know what factor that will play when it comes time for them to claim that Anthony was defending himself. Because at the end of the day, it's illegal to have this weapon. So that may make this self-defense null and void, because you're not supposed to be here with this weapon in the first place. And if you're coming to a track meet fearing for your life, all you have to do is not go to the track meet. So there's a lot of things that are working against Karmelo as far as this self-defense claims go, or this self-defense claim goes. And I'm not even trying to hate. I'm just trying to look at it from an honest viewpoint. But I'm sure some of you all will disagree, and we'll see how this plays out in court. I'm sure there's going to be a lot of chaos. Who knows what tomorrow will bring? But for now, you guys let me know what you think about this down in the comments below. While you're down there, hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe, ring that notification bell, and I'll talk to you all soon in the next one.